Do something for me tonight, about 9 o'clock, 2 hours after the sun has gone down. Walk into your bedroom, reach up, and lay your hand flat on the ceiling. It will be warm. Some nights, in the deep of July, it will be warm the way the hood of a car is warm after a drive. The sun set 2 hours ago. So ask yourself the question nobody in a modern house ever asks: who is still heating my house? I will tell you who. 6 inches above that ceiling, on the other side of a little wooden hatch you have not opened since you moved in, there is a room you forgot you own. This afternoon, while your air conditioner fought for its life, that room can climb past 150 degrees. Hotter than almost any desert afternoon on record, hot enough to feel like the inside of an oven the moment you lift the hatch. And now, all night long, that room is giving its heat back, down through the ceiling, into your bedroom, onto your pillow. Your air conditioner is not fighting the sun, friend. The sun clocked out at 7. Your air conditioner is fighting your own attic, and losing, and it can cost you a few $100s a summer to keep losing. Now come stand in my attic, on an Amish farm, on that very same July afternoon. Same sun. Same black shingles above us. Wait, no. Not the same. And not the same air either. Hot, yes, but moving, like standing in the shade of a covered bridge with the river breeze coming through. By evening my bedroom ceiling upstairs is cool to the touch, and no machine on this farm lifted a finger for it. My name is Jonas, and I am Amish. The old builders solved the cooking attic 200 years before anyone hung the first air conditioner in a window, and they solved it for about the price of a bag of lime. So this Saturday, I want to take you up into that forgotten room of yours, one climb, one afternoon, for playing fixes, most of them costing between nothing and a few dollars. And hold on to this question until the end, because the answer is the part everybody gets backwards. The goal is not to make your attic cool. Let it be hot. The old way does something far smarter than cool, and once you see it, you will never think about the top of your house the same way again. Start at the bottom of the problem, because the problem starts before the heat ever reaches a room. It starts on the roof deck. Dark shingles under full July sun climb past 160 degrees. You could not hold your palm on them for 3 seconds. All that heat pours through the thin roof boards into the attic air, and the attic, in most modern houses, is a sealed box. Sealed boxes cook. That is the whole story of your warm ceiling. A sealed oven, 6 inches over your bed, radiating down into the living space half the night, while the machine downstairs burns money pushing the heat right back up at it. The old farmhouse attic was never a sealed box. It was a chimney lying on its side. And the first fix of our Saturday is simply to reopen what the box builders closed. Go stand outside and look up under your eaves, the part of the roof that overhangs the walls. In every old farmhouse, that underside is not solid wood. It is slotted, vented, gapped, because that is where the cool air gets in. Air down at the eaves, in the shade of the overhang, is the coolest air anywhere near your roof. The old builders left it a door on purpose. Modern houses have those vents too, little screen strips called soffit vents, but climb into 10 attics and in 8 of them you will find those vents buried, stuffed with insulation somebody pushed too far to the edges, caked with 40 years of dust, painted shut from outside. The coolest air in the neighborhood is standing at a locked door. So fix number 1 costs nothing but an hour on your knees with a stick and a flashlight, crawl to the eaves and pull the insulation back off every vent. Rake the dust screens clean. If your house has no soffit vents at all, a screened aluminum one costs a few dollars at the hardware store and fits in a hole a jigsaw makes in 2 minutes. Open the low door first. Nothing else works until the low door is open. Because here is the engine, the same engine that ran the cupola in the video I made about cooling the house, and it never stops running. Hot air rises. It does not need a fan, a wire, or your permission. A 150-degree attic wants to empty itself out the top with real force. Builders call it the stack effect, but it can only leave as fast as new air comes in at the bottom. Low door open, now give it the high door. That is fix number 2. The old barns and farmhouses wore their high door proudly on the roofline, the cupola, that little louvered tower on top that town folk think is decoration. Air pours in at the shaded eaves, sweeps up along the hot underside of the roof, and roars out the cupola all afternoon like smoke up a flue, a river of moving air between the sun and your ceiling. Your house probably has its own version already, gable vents, those louvered triangles up in the end walls, or a ridge vent running the length of the peak. Go look at them. In half the houses I have seen, the gable vent is blocked by a plywood scrap, a dead bee colony, or a sheet of plastic somebody stapled up one winter and forgot. Clear it. Screen it against the birds and wasps. If the peak of your attic has no opening at all, that is the one fix on today's list worth hiring a man with a ladder for, but for most houses, the doors are already there, just shut. One low, one high, both open. That alone can pull an attic down by 20, 30 degrees on a still day, and every degree the attic drops is a degree your ceiling never sees. I will tell you how I know the numbers, because I did not read them in a book. My cousin married an English woman, good people, and they live in a 1970s ranch house in town with a sealed attic and a groaning air conditioner. 2 summers ago, on a 94-degree afternoon, he and I carried a dairy thermometer up his hatch, the long steel kind we use at milking, and we hung it from a nail on a rafter. 152 degrees. Then we drove out to my place and hung the same thermometer in my attic, same hour, same sun. 107. Still hot. I told you the attic stays hot, but 45 degrees of difference between his ceiling and mine, from nothing but 2 open doors and a breeze that costs no one a cent. He spent that same evening on his knees at his eaves pulling insulation off buried vents, and he called me a week later mostly to complain that his upstairs finally slept cool and his wife wanted to know why we had not done it years ago. While we are up here at the eaves, friend, answer me this in the comments. When is the last time you actually opened your own attic hatch and looked? A year? 10? Never? Be honest. Everything I am showing you today sits on the other side of that little board, and most folks have never once met their own roof from the inside. Now, some of you are already thinking of the shortcut, because the modern world always offers one, a powered attic fan, a motor in the roof to suck the heat out. I understand the temptation, and I will give you the honest arithmetic of it. That motor pulls hard, and it does not ask where the replacement air comes from. If the eave vents are skimpy, and in the houses that buy those fans, they usually are, the fan starts pulling its air from the easiest place left, down through every crack around your attic hatch and your ceiling lamps, straight out of the rooms you just paid to cool. A machine that eats your air conditioning to cool a room nobody lives in, and needs electricity to do it, and quits in a thunderstorm when the power blinks. The stack effect asks for none of that. It has no motor to burn out, no switch to forget, no bill to pay, and it has not missed a single afternoon of work in 200 years. Open doors beat clever machines. That is not stubbornness, that is bookkeeping. Now, the third fix, and this is the $2 one, the one my grandfather would do with a brush on a June morning. Stop so much heat from getting in at the top at all. Walk past any Amish farm and look at the outbuildings. The metal roofs are shiny or painted pale. The barn walls are whitewashed bright as a Sunday shirt. That is not for looks. White throws the sun back. The old whitewash, burnt lime and water, a few cents a gallon then, a few dollars a bag now, was slapped onto barn roofs, spring houses, chicken coops, anything the summer sun beat down on, and it dropped the surface heat so far you could lay your hand on a painted roof that would have burned you bare. A dark roof drinks the sun, a pale one refuses it. Now, I will be straight with you, repainting the shingles of a modern house is not a Saturday job, and nobody is asking you to. But the principle has a dozen Saturday-sized uses. The flat black roof of a porch, a shed, a coop, a trailer, a coat of lime wash or pale roof paint on those, and the space below them changes its whole temper by supper. And when the day comes that your shingles are done anyway and the roofer asks you what color, now you know why the old men always answer light. It is the difference between wearing a black hat and a straw one in the field, and no one who has worn both ever asks twice. The fourth fix waits back inside, and it answers the question I asked you to hold, because after the vents are open and the pale roof is throwing back what it can, the attic on the worst afternoon is still going to be hot. And here is where the modern world goes wrong, and where the old way turns. Stop trying to make the attic comfortable. The attic is not where you live. Let it be hot. Your whole battle, the only battle that ever mattered, is the 6 inches between that hot room and your cool one, the attic floor. The old folks packed that floor like they packed the walls of an ice house, because they understood which side of the boards they lived on. Sawdust, straw, and clay, wool too coarse to spin, a foot deep of whatever held still air, laid between the joists over the bedroom ceilings. Still air is one of the best walls against heat there is, and it works both directions. Heat stays out of the bedrooms in July and stays in them in January. The same fix fights both bills. Today the material is different, blown cellulose, bats of wool or fiberglass, but the arithmetic is the same, and it is humble. Most older houses are carrying a thin, trampled, gap-riddled few inches up there, when a deep, even, wall-to-wall blanket is the single biggest difference maker in the whole house. Lay it thick, lay it flat, do not bury the eave vents you just fought to open, leave them their air path, and while you are up there, look at the attic hatch itself. In most houses it is a bare board, a hole in your blanket the size of a window, leaking heat down at you every night. A square of rigid foam glued to its back and a strip of felt around the frame. $2, 10 minutes, done for 20 years. And that is the Saturday. Climb down, wash the dust off, and look at what you built with your own 2 hands and maybe $10 all told. Cool air walks in at the eaves. The hidden river runs up the hot roof boards and out the peak, all day, every day, on no power but the sun's own habit of making hot air rise. The pale surfaces turn away what they can before it ever enters. The deep floor blanket holds the line over your bed. And the hot room above it all is still hot at 4 in the afternoon, and it does not matter anymore, because the heat has a road through your house instead of a bed in it. That is the backwards part, plain. The town way seals the box and fights the temperature, the old way opens the box and manages the road. One of them can cost a few $100s a summer, every summer. The other one costs a Saturday. Tonight, when the house has gone quiet, do the 9 o'clock test again. Hand flat on the bedroom ceiling. And in a few weeks, after the vents are open and the blanket is down, do it once more and feel the difference with your own skin. Then come down to the comments and tell me 2 numbers, what your hand felt before, and what it felt after. And tell me the strangest thing you found up in that forgotten room while you were at it. I have heard of wasp nests the size of wash basins and a wedding dress in a trunk nobody could account for. I read every word down there. The heat will break before long, and when the first cold night comes you will find out the second half of what that attic blanket does. But that is a story for the fall, and I will tell it properly when the season turns. For now, open the low door, open the high one, paint pale what you can, and lay the blanket deep. The old ways still work.